Hi folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. I want to tell you about one of my new favorite lures, and it's been a gem for years, and it's a forgotten gem. For years and years, before all the tournaments started coming here, the most popular bait for catching good smallmouth bass on the St. Lawrence River was a green pumpkin colored, that's the color that it's called, green pumpkin, tube jig. And we've talked about tubes before. Well, I've tried to go back and experiment with them again this year. And oh my gosh, have I had fabulous luck with small 2 3/4 inch tube jigs where I've caught more bass over 16 or 17 inches in both the Grass and the Racket River than any other bait. And I'm using some of my other favorite baits. But for some reason, tubes are really effective. The other thing is they're pretty easy to fish. If you rig them the way they're meant to be rigged, where the head of the jig goes inside this hollow body that's the tube itself. You insert it all the way to the nose, and then you pop up the little line tie. It's a little tie-on ring that penetrates the soft plastic, comes up. So then most of your hook is buried inside this tube jig. And you can present it over rocky areas, I think easier than most, without snagging so much. But the big part of what that tube is it seems to look like something alive in the water more than most of anything that we can throw out there. Every time you move the rod tip, all the little living rubber tails on that tube, and there's probably 50 on each one, they sort of pulsate in the water, and they look like the thing is alive and it's wiggling. So if you haven't used a tube, I know it's not the in thing like some of the drop shot baits are, but for years and years, the only food that they really was available to the smallmouths that was the biggest part of their diet were crayfish. Crayfish were everything. Guides would go out there on the water and use live crayfish, to get people a lot of smallmouth bass. A tube jig is fabulous. And they come in lots of colors, but most of the colors are in that greenish, brownish shade, and that's the good one to choose. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.